Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Springdale High School Band's 2017 Christmas concert. We first of all appreciate your attendance tonight, and we would like to be among the first throughout the season to wish you a very Merry Christmas. We really appreciate you being here, and we're excited about tonight. Before we get started, if you would join me real quickly, I'll do it the same. Let's go ahead and take out our cell phones, and let's silence them, please. Take a moment away from Facebook. Your Facebook friends can live without you for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes at the max, and let us enjoy this wonderful season together and this great music by three great bands tonight. Please remain seated while the bands are performing. That would help us out. The students have worked very hard on preparing, and so we want to make sure that there's not a lot of extra sounds going on. Last thing before we get started, we'd also like to call your attention. You might have seen it out in the lobby, but we have a band angel tree. Miss Miller and Miss Manley helped me put that together. It is decorated with fun ornaments, and those fun ornaments have to do with any kind of donations you're able to give to us. It's appreciated. Many needs a band program of our size has, and so we appreciate you kind of checking that out on your way out. Without further ado, we will, the first group this evening is the Springdale High School Concert Winds under the direction of Miss Ashley Beatty. Miss Beatty is a recent graduate of the University of Arkansas, and she is enthusiastically, and let me tell you, she is very excited about teaching, does a great job every day, working in her first year of teaching at the Springdale High School, George Junior High, and Kelly Middle School. And without further ado, please welcome Miss Ashley Beatty and the Concert Winds. The next piece on the concert tonight is going to be guest conducted by Vorty Mathis. He is a recent graduate of the University of Arkansas, where he earned his bachelor's degree in music education. During his time there at the university, he studied tuba and clarinet under some very great instructors. Vorty will conclude his final week this week in the Springdale Public Schools. We're all very sad to see him go. Starting in January, he will be beginning as a beginning woodwind teacher in Mountain Home, Arkansas. So please help me welcome Mr. Vorty Mathis to the stage.
Go, Caitlin. Hi, my name is Ashley Beatty. As Mr. Stevens already said, I'm the director at George. I also help out here and at Kelly Middle School. I just want to take a second to first of all thank Mr. Stevens for giving me the opportunity to work with this group. We had 3 weeks to pull off a concert, and these kids have come in every day and really worked, and their talent just stands out. Their talent amazes me is what I'm trying to say. Their talent amazes me every day. So thank you to Mr. Stevens and Ms. Miller for that opportunity. And also thank you to every single student on this stage right now. We definitely couldn't have done this without you because you're doing it all. I also want to say a huge thank you to Mr. Vorty Mathis. He has been instrumental in pulling this off, pun intended, pulling this off in 3 weeks. He came in and just took right to this band directing thing, and he has just done amazing things. So can we all give him a hand real quick? And before we get started with this last one, I want to thank every parent or guardian in here. You have raised some great kids, and I am so lucky that I get to work with them every single day. So give yourselves a hand. We hope you enjoy the last portion, or the last song of our portion of the concert, Jingle Bells and Jungle Drums. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to close this curtain first. I'll tell you what, Chris, I'm gonna close this curtain.
Try to get to this. He's gonna close this curtain. What are you doing? Whoa. Excuse me, I didn't have to speak a foreign language. I can actually. Get in front of it. The curtain's got to be that way. There you go. Get that way. She wants to be nice and like. She's gonna be bye.
Excuse me. Don't so hard. Slowly but surely. Oh god. Don't trip. Don't trip, bro.
Ish, get it.
Breathe into it.
Okay, so they don't see that they move chairs.
Whistle.
What extra?
I'm an used to this one, dude. Ish, get it.
Yeah, you don't shut up right now.
This ensemble on stage right now is our school's flute choir, and our members are Jasmine Abdallah, Olivia Eccles, Monique Pena, Clarissa Fuller, Brenda Martinez, and Sarah George. This group of students meet before and after school, and they love playing music and learning, and we have a lot of fun. We laugh a lot also. They never turn down an opportunity to learn something new. We also have on stage here Miss Donna Vickers, our intern this semester. She interned at Lakeside Junior High, but she worked a lot with this group as well as our marching band during the first half of the semester. Ms. Vickers is a recent graduate of the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville, where she studied flute and received a dual degree in music education and psychology. Ms. Vickers began her student teaching this semester here in Springdale at Springdale High School, Lakeside Junior High, and Sonora Middle School. This week, she will be finishing up her internship semester at George Elementary. Although Ms. Vickers is originally from Long Island, New York, she is happy to say that she's found a home here in Arkansas. And we're also super happy to say that she just accepted a job tonight at Marion, so she'll be starting in January. The Springdale High School Band Department would like to give Ms. Vickers a small token of our gratitude for her hard work and dedication to the Springdale High School Band this year.
Let's give the Flute Choir one more round of applause. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and give the third band another round of applause as well. Third band as well. Right there. All right, thank you very much. We really appreciate both of those directors' work. As you can tell, they have done a lot of magic in just a couple weeks. This concert preparation is a little tight, and we just got our band set like 3 weeks ago, and they've been working. Flute Choir's been coming in the morning, and I just can't ask for too much more work from Miss Miller and the flutes as well. So we're really proud of them. Our next group this evening is the Springdale High School Symphonic Winds. They are under the direction of Miss Sarah Miller. Miss Miller holds a bachelor's degree in instrumental music education from Arkansas Tech, where she was a member of the ATU Band of Distinction, Wind Ensemble, and Flute Choir, as you just kind of saw her work there. Miss Miller also holds a master's degree in music education from UCA. She has 7 years of teaching experience, and this is her very first year in Springdale. Please welcome to the stage Miss Sarah Miller and the Springdale High School Symphonic Winds.
our first tune that the Symphonic Winds performed for you was entitled Santa Meets Sousa. Hopefully you were able to pick out all of the Christmas tunes that were intermingled with the famous march melodies of the American March King John Philip Sousa. Our next piece, Greensleeves Fantasia for Band, is a tribute by Robert W. Smith to the great composer Ralph Vaughan Williams. Vaughan Williams enjoyed one of the longest and most successful creative careers in music history. As a member of the English Folk Song Society, Williams would often go to the country to collect native folk music in its purest state. He felt very strongly that the rapid industrialization of the British Isles would result in the loss of these folk songs unless they were written down and introduced to a new generation. As a result, much of his writing was based on his study of folk songs, creating a legacy and sound that characterizes British music. This piece has several short solos throughout. Jim Angeles on flute, Austin Thrush on oboe, Timmy Duang Champa on trumpet, Dylan Borgia on bari saxophone, and Vanessa Araujo on clarinet. This is Greensleeves, a Fantasia for Band. thank you all so much for coming to this evening's concert. The fall and winter are an extremely busy time for our band students, what with marching band and then having to quickly put together this winter concert after marching contests and playoff games have ended. I would like to extend a huge thank you to those students, these students in particular, for working so hard, being patient with me as I learned the ropes here at Springdale, and being so dedicated to our band program. The Symphonic Winds will end our portion of tonight's concert with The Holly and the Ivy, arranged by Tom Wallace. After that, we will have a short stage change before our final performance by the Springdale High School Wind Ensemble.
5, 21, 12, 8. You need a chair over here on the end? Please stand for the front row.
Our final group this evening is the Springdale High School Wind Ensemble. They are under the direction of Mr. Julius Stevens. Mr. Stevens holds a master's degree of music education from Indiana University, where he performed as part of the Indiana University Wind Ensemble at the Midwest Band and Orchestra Clinic in 2003 under the direction of Ray Kramer. He also holds a Bachelor of Music Education degree from the University of Central Oklahoma. Mr. Stevens has 13 years teaching experience, and this is his first year teaching at Springdale School District. Please welcome to the stage Mr. Julius Stevens and the Springdale Wind Ensemble.
All right, the first piece that you just heard from the Wind Ensemble tonight, it's called Pas de Pan, as you saw in your programs. It's a French Christmas carol from way back in the day, 1720. That's a couple years ago, and depicts the birth child of the Christ child during Christmas season, and is told from the perspective of shepherds playing very simple but cool instruments the flutes, as you heard, and the drums. So I forgot something that is rather important to do, and I'm not sure if Mr. Mathis is still around. If not, I will make sure I personally give this to him. But just like Miss Vickers kind of got something very nice for her work and all the great efforts that she put in, we also wanted to thank Mr. Mathis. Are you still near Mathis, Mr. Mathis? There he is. Come on up, Mr. Mathis. As you can tell from the thunderous applause, he is a rock star. He is nothing other than a band directing rock star, and he's done very good work for us. So the kids have done a lot of work with him, and he's been helping with sectionals. He actually just took about 17 kids to the University of Arkansas this weekend on a free clinic for all region. We had a lot of kids participate, and it was really because of his efforts. So, Mr. Mathis, we thank you, and let's give him another round of applause. Now it's time to talk just a little bit about the students that you've seen all night long, and the third band that started, second band, all the way to the first band. These students are very, very special students. This year has been a great year. We've had a lot of transition, a lot of change, but these students, I think the word that I use to describe it is they've just been very gracious all year. They've worked along with all the newness, and they, as you can tell, they have done a very good job. Marching band got straight ones. Mr. Jinx told me in my interview, woe be it to the band director or band directing teams that would come to Springdale and not continue that tradition of X amount of years, almost 40 years of sweepstakes, and we took the first step towards that as far as marching band. So let's give the whole Springdale band another round of applause for straight ones. And we couldn't be prouder of their hard work. We really couldn't. They do an excellent job. Outside of the students, this whole thing couldn't happen without obviously a great staff, but even more importantly, a great administration that puts this thing together. So there are quite a few people that I just at least want to say. I'm not sure if they're in the audience tonight or not, but I would be remiss and perhaps without a job if I didn't thank the right people, because they have done so much work. As you can tell, the new uniforms that we've got, so many different things that they've provided over the years. And so I will start with, if our superintendent of schools, Dr. Jim D. Rollins, is here, he can please stand. I'm not sure if he made it tonight or not, but let's give him a huge round of applause for Dr. Rollins. Also in attendance tonight is a very special administrator. There are not very many administrators that will come down to your office, talk you through kind of making sure that, you know, the concert goes well, and then spend time talking with you about Arsenal and soccer and Guardians of the Galaxy and the Infinity War trailer that just came out. But this guy, Mr. Pete Jinx, is just a great principal. He is very, very awesome to work for, and I know the students would probably agree. Let's give him a huge round of applause. And can you stand, Mr. Jinx, please? There he is. There he is. That guy knows a thing or two about soccer, which I appreciate. Other names I'll just mention: Dr. Jarrett Cleveland, Dr. Megan Slocum, Dr. Marcia Smith, Dr. Kathleen Morledge. Those are all very great administrators that we have here at school. Assistant principals: Don Eichenberger, Miss Fott, Curtis Gladden, and Remington Myers. The work that you see up here, it's really fun to just, myself, Miss Miller, Miss Beatty, to kind of just get up there and kind of wave our baton, and it kind of sounds really good, and you think that we did the whole thing by ourselves. That is the furthest thing from the truth. Our whole team of band directors are outstanding. Mr. James Hendricks from J.L. Kelly, Mr. Brent Mitchell from Sonora, Mr. Chris Shelby from Lakeside, and Mr. Chris Moore from George. Let's give them a huge round of applause. Ooh. We would be nowhere without them. Any Springdale faculty that might be here, can you please stand up for us, and we'll clap for you. I don't know if anybody made it tonight. We'll just give them a round of applause anyway. All the faculty, all right? There we go. Yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. I'm going to just go ahead and get through all the little things here, and then we won't have too much more talking throughout the program. All the directors would like to thank, and I'm not sure who's all in attendance, but we have to give a heartfelt thanks and a loving welcome to our families that have to put up with us and coming home late at night and all those things. So please give our families a huge round of applause. We appreciate you and love you. There's a person here that day by day helps me keep my head on straight and is probably just one of the finest band secretaries that we've had in the history of this school, Miss Martha Manley. Let's give her a huge round of applause. And I'd also be remiss without mentioning that the assistant band director that I get the privilege of working with every day is just an out-of-sight band director, and she does a great job, Miss Miller. Let's give it up for Miss Miller. And finally, I want to recognize you, the parents. We couldn't do this without you, obviously without your children. Coming to school early during summer band, taking them home late on Friday night games, playoff games, getting home late from the road. And we appreciate your support of music education. We'd love to see these students continue their music in college, maybe get some college scholarships. That's definitely what we're about. And so students, let's give your parents, those people that birthed you, a huge round of applause and thank them. All right, our next piece is called The Most Wonderful Christmas, exciting medley of really popular Christmas tunes, a lot of jazz influence. I think you'll really enjoy this piece, A Most Wonderful Christmas. I will go ahead and introduce the last piece first and then the last guest conductor shortly thereafter. The last piece really needs no introduction. It is Sleigh Ride. It was written by Leroy Anderson. Found some stuff kind of today that was pretty neat. It was written in 1948, quite a while ago, for conductor Arthur Fiedler and the Boston Pops, where he was an arranger there. It gained a lot of popularity after it was fitted with lyrics. I didn't know that it was originally an instrumental, but obviously we know it so well because people sing it so often. This cheerful song makes no particular mention of Christmas, but it's obviously a very festive tune. In fact, according to one author, this piece has been performed and recorded by a wider array of musical artists than any other piece in history. That's pretty crazy to think about that this is maybe the #1 seller. So without further ado, I will introduce to you a special guest conductor who will close out our concert this evening. This is none other than Miss Malden. She is a 1996 graduate of this very school, Springdale High School. She holds both a Bachelor's of Music Ed and a Master's of Clarinet Performance from the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville. She spent the last 14 years teaching both in the classroom and privately. This is her first year to teach actually on staff, and she's been a great help. She did a lot of woodwind work for us last year. She's excited to be here working with students at Springdale, Lakeside Junior High, Sonora Middle School, and please welcome to the stage Miss Angel Malden as we finish tonight's performance with Sleigh Ride. have a very, very Merry Christmas. We appreciate your attendance, and drive safely.